report. Okay, so I'll cover three things: understanding the core of this function, how it contributes towards organizational purpose, and also understanding the role and learning as a LCVP BD, and also a brief understanding in terms of BD change management. Okay, yeah, so I think the expectation wise is first one, be purposeful, own your learning. You came here for a reason, even if it's your LCP allocate you here, right? I believe you can learn something here also. And at the same time, this is a campfire chat, so okay, I think maybe some of you guys are shy, so let's use the popcorn style. So how can I say this? It's like, let's say ask any question, you can still open mic and share the whole thing, but if you're shy, then you just type in the chat a few keywords like that. But mainly be present and let's talk. And let's open cam, people. Okay, I only have 2 people opening cam. Yeah, thanks for my 2 supporters. Oh, okay, I click record already. Yeah, so I think first one, we'll go into the definition of BD. Okay, I have 3 people open cam. Yeah, so I want you guys to describe BD in 1 sentence. Okay, not 1 word, 1 sentence. Sunisa, I said sentence, not word. And sales is like you're using a synonym, you're not describing. Okay, now mind. Others? But to be fair, right, sales is part of BD, but not everything about BD. Increase the growth of a company. Wow, Sai has a good visionary picture. Nice. Anyone else? Yeah, actually, I only have 2 answers here. Or anyone want to open mic? No more? Hello, people. External representative of the LC. Wow, we have someone as the current sales head speaking. Hi, Shishi. Isaac advocate to external parties. Yeah, I think that's a very valid point. Okay, I think I'll move on. Thanks for the answers. Yeah, so I think here is a very textbook answer in terms of BD. I mean, this textbook answer is not wrong and it's good also. Yeah, so here we say, it can be summarized as the ideas, initiative, activities to help make the business better. And it includes increasing revenue, making your business expand. I think like what Sai mentioned, yeah, the growth of company, increasing profitability, building strategic partnerships, making strategic business decision. Okay, so here when we talk about how make the business better, right? Here's the question: what's your business? Okay, I'm waiting. Then if you don't know, then yeah, that's why you come here. Okay, but let's go towards the next question. What's your business? Wait, who is this? What is? I think the person with SI, is it? Oh, hello.
Oh, it's me, Jolene.
Oh, what you said again? What is our business again?
More towards youth development.
Okay. Then Jia from ACO also shared the same answer, youth leadership development opportunity. Anyone else got any other answers? Our projects, okay. Our people, wow. Okay, thanks for the input. I feel like this group is not as active as round 1, but it's okay. Yeah, okay. So yeah, thanks for everyone for the answer. Okay, so mainly our business is youth leadership development. Yeah. So I think if you have other answers, I think Shishi is probably clear, but she mentioned about our projects. Then our projects also contribute towards the youth leadership development. Same goes to developing our people also. Yeah. So I think here, if you have any misconception in terms of thinking that our business is getting money or getting sales, closing sales, then the answer is a wrong answer. I can tell you a lot of things don't have right or wrong, right? But this one I'll tell you is a wrong. Okay. yeah, the only right answer is youth leadership development, unless you are going into another business. But at least in Isaac, our business is youth leadership development. Yeah, so here's an overall picture, right, in terms of how our business runs youth leadership, where I think the start comes from OGV or EWA marketing side, bring in the youth, the leads, the signups, and then we bring these people to get the local community impact or getting the youth engagement. Yeah, if you're EWA side, then mainly towards our project and our events, our LC EWA initiative. Yeah, and then for this EWA initiative, IGV projects, right, it brings back the youth leadership development for our youth itself. Yeah, so mainly where do we position ourselves? It's mainly on this FP side, where we bring in the resources to our project and events, or should I say is towards our organization, to actually ensure that it can run the project to sustain. That's the first level. Second level is bring in financial partners to invest and grow your projects and events. Okay, so it's not only about sustaining, but also growing. But again, when you grow, then you need more resources also. Yeah, so that we can expand again our impact here to ensure the cycle of this is happening. More youth can actually get engaged and go into our leadership products. Okay, yeah, so this is a picture I got from IGV also, then amended it for EWA. Okay, yeah, so again, after understanding what is our business, right, then mainly our goal as a BD is never to get money for the sake of getting money. I think this one I need to put a very strong stand. Yeah, it's not getting money. Yeah, but in the end, it's actually using the money secured to support your youth leadership business and make it better. So again, like what I mentioned, supporting the basic level of sustainability, and then afterwards investing it for it to grow like that. Yeah, so mainly here's a picture in terms of the relationship and what are the things that we got for IGV, for EWA. They're managing the youth side, the SDG projects, youth experience stuff. I mean, the attracting the youth is coming from OGV, but yeah, I'll just categorize it as youth, and then SDG projects, Youth Speak Forum, LCM1 initiative, and our side as BD, we are guarding, bringing in value aligned partners. So again, when we are bringing in partners, right, you shouldn't simply bring in any partners. You need to find a partner that actually sees the value of what we do, and then also agrees with our core itself, and it's not getting the commercial value that they want, but also supporting us for our products to become better. And at the same time, our side is also playing the role in terms of ensuring sustainability and resources. So especially into maybe virtual, you don't have much cost, so you can't see the picture. But when you go into hybrid, you go into physical, then your LC cash flow actually need to be a lot more so that you can run the projects like that. Like for example, previously, when I run IGV projects, we run physical donation drive. We can use the mall and set up physical donation drive for free, but then we need to put in a 2,000 ringgit deposit. So that's where we bring the cash in. Then in the end, even though this 2,000 isn't spent, but we need the cash to actually maintain the whole event project LC to run itself. Yeah, so mainly here is where we plug in resources. But even though I talk a lot about money right now, but it's not only on money, but also bringing in external context. But that's what I will explain later. Okay, then mainly both sides are running on this so that we can amplify the impact we want to make towards youth and community. So I think here, a lot of times as a salesperson, right, we would prioritize our partners a lot, which we still do need to prioritize our partners, but we always need to guard the picture in terms of at the end of the day, I'm getting this partner to support my youth. Okay, so even if you ask me youth and community, which one we should prioritize more, my answer would be youth. But it doesn't mean we neglect community, it doesn't mean we neglect partners, but we need to understand why are we doing all of this in the first place. Okay, yeah, so I think mainly that's all in terms of the very basic picture and definition and goal of BD. So moving on, I'll share more in terms of the roles and learnings in terms of being a head of BD like that. Okay, so before I go into further, what do you think you would do and learn here?
This one I can try already. I think okay, I think what if I am able to join BD, what I can learn is how I can convince or like pitch to the financial partners to convince them to invest in our projects so that we can like kind of like invest our youth development, youth leadership development. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Who is this again? Hui Ting. Okay, thanks for your very proactive sharing. I'll record your name under the what? The fun team, you get the points also. Hey, but others I forgot.
Okay.
Okay, but at least waiting for a record. Okay. Let me find Jonah. Sorry, I half sharing. Okay, I typed down waiting name. Okay, let me see the chat here. Okay, I think just now I accidentally go towards the next slide already. So I think here I'll just straight away go into the next slide. So I think a lot of times when you talk about BD here, we talk about sales, but sales is also a very vague term, right? Then a lot of then when we talk about what we might learn is maybe in terms of the generating leads, the partner meeting. But I think just now the last call we talk about what market research, all those things, which is true. And what Hui Ting mentioned in terms of convincing your partner to actually invest in your project, going for partner meetings, that is also very true. Like you do need the verbal communication skills also. But I think here that's why here we have the functional fair for me to actually clarify maybe certain blind spots that everyone here might not see or miss out or misunderstandings. So the very, first impression of sales definitely would be here. But actually when a lot of times when people talk about BD, right, I think one thing that people always forgot or neglect is product understanding. Yeah, so I think I see here someone from UNMC. Sorry, what's your name again? Let me see. I think is okay, she's nodding her head. Product understanding is very important. Yeah, I think a lot of times, especially when new members come in and then you directly allocate them into sales team, right? They might think about, okay, I need to sell and then I need to find someone sponsor. All those things, which I would say is not to say it's not correct like that. But then imagine if you go for a partners meeting, then you tell them, hey, do you want to sponsor my project? Then they say yes. Then they ask you, okay, so what can I get from this? Or how do I collaborate with you? Like Sai's question earlier, right? What can I get from you? Or, even if they don't want to get anything from you, but okay, how can I go in like that? Then you don't know, okay, I need to ask my project team. Then your partnership meeting will be very GG already. Yeah? So here actually goes back to how much you understand your product. At least for me, I can't actually sell something I don't know or I don't believe for me. But I don't know for you guys, but that's for me. Yeah. So I think here is you need to understand very clearly in terms of how your whole IGV runs and how your whole EWA runs. What are the things that they want to do? What is the overall direction that they want to go to? And also the overall LC direction that your LCPE want to drive. Yeah, mainly because if you don't understand how your product runs, then you wouldn't be able to communicate the value of your product itself for people to buy, and you wouldn't be able to maximize the value of it also. Yeah, so I think that's all in terms of product understanding. I think for everyone here, this is quite simple for you to understand, and this is something that when you are bringing in new members, right, even if in the end you are not BD, okay, but if you meet other new members, then you tell them what's the first thing you need to know about BD. Don't tell them about sales, tell them about product understanding, okay? Yeah, so next thing I would say is also industry research. Yeah, so you do need to understand, you do need to do your Google search, all those things, market research. But I would say industry research as a whole is also very important. Yeah, so when you're generating leads, let's say, for example, one thing that happened in EWA is that Jai told me is EWA keep on finding pharmaceutical company and then keep on get rejected because they have this bribery law that doesn't allow them to directly give people funds like that. So if you are venturing into the wrong industry, right, definitely you will always, find the wrong partner. And then to also answer Sai's question a little bit on this part is that, let's say I'm selling SpeakUp, okay? Then I sell SpeakUp to, I don't know, some art company. Maybe they might be interested, but what is the value of SpeakUp? We talk about B40, we talk about English proficiency, we talk about STEM. Then if, at least I would say, is that if let's say the project is aiming for STEM, then it actually makes more sense for you to find certain industries or companies that are in STEM, okay? Then in terms of how can partner get the value, then here is in terms of how much you understand your product and then how much you cater and design and customize your product to fit according to the partner needs. Like that. So what do I mean by this? Is for example, let's say your project is aiming for STEM, right? SpeakUp. Then let's say your niche is engineering like that. So you want to teach the high school students engineering. So if let's say you find a biology company, then you tell them, okay, I'm teaching engineering and then I want you to sponsor my project. Then they also don't know what value that they can gain, even though it's science. Yeah, but let's say today you are approaching an engineering company, then you propose a collaboration with them. Okay, you tell them, you as the engineering company, you come in, you provide an engineering career consultancy to impact the B40 students. So this is the thing that you can get, that you can leverage your expertise to actually impact these B40 students. But then for me, I coordinate the whole project. I ensure that the people attend the workshop itself, set itself, and I also offer the branding. So here is how we play our strategic role as a salesperson and how we align with our IGV and EWA on here. Okay, so here I think it answers Sai's question more in terms of why would partner want to buy our project. Actually, it goes back to how you customize your project and how much you understand your project and events itself. And again, how much you understand in terms of the partner you find. So don't simply randomly find partners. I mean, if you didn't do your homework, then yeah, you wouldn't close the sales. It's not probably, it's confirmed wouldn't. Okay. Okay, I think I spent a lot of time here. I'll move on. It's also on communication, both verbal and written. So I think verbal, I wouldn't talk too much because I think you guys sort of understand. It's like, you know, you need to wear formal, go for partner meeting. I mean, virtual don't need lah. Physical, maybe you need a bit. Then you also need to speak properly. Like imagine you speak, then it wouldn't be a good impression to your partner. But I think one thing that people forgot is written communication also, like slide design, proposal writing, all those things. In terms of what you write, is it too overwhelming? Is it too many words or too not concise like that? I think that's the thing that you need to keep in mind. So one tip, if you go for interview and then you explain too much, like it's not concise, right? Then I think it's a very minus mark for your interview also. But anyways, okay, let's come back. Yeah, and I think the other part that people might forgot is in terms of after you close the sales, what will happen, or maybe during the process of closing the sales. Yeah, so I would say it's stakeholder management also, both internally and externally. So I mean, if let's say your partners say they want something, right, but your project team or your EWA team, event team can't do it, then it's really can't do it. You can't really force your team to do it. I mean, you can align with them to customize project team to work, but you also need to see whether they can run the initiative itself or not. So you need to align. You are sort of like the bridge between both sides. And then for partner side, you also, maybe you have multiple partners in the same project also. So the stakeholder management is very important. Again, your internal stakeholder is also stakeholder, your IGV and EWA, and your LCP also. Yeah. And then also negotiation. If let's say, I'll say, if suddenly your partner say, oh, I decided I want to pull out because I don't have money, then you might need to go into negotiation with them. So I think here, a lot of times we maybe think about black and white, yes and no. Partners say no, that is a no. But you need to expand your mind to think about what are the other potential opportunities that you can explore on. Let's say their budget is originally, your proposal is 10K. Then they originally say yes. Suddenly they say cannot. Okay, maximum is 5K. Then how can you customize your project to not lose its value while you still can close these sales? Because in terms of negotiation, right, if let's say you are having the same thing, same deliverables, then suddenly can cut the price. Then actually, how do you actually charge your pricing? So this is something that you need to take note on also. And also networking. So in order for your LC to healthily develop partnerships, relations, long-term wise, you also need to go for networking events and then to talk to other potential partners that you might need to know like that, even though you didn't close sales in the end, but you still need to do the networking like this. Yeah. And then I think the last part, this part is more on a more high level thing already, the harder part, but I would say this is the essence of BD also, is that the strategic direction. Okay, so again, I'll use again an IGV example. EWA, for now, I can't suddenly bring in any, but for example, external context. So I'll use UPM as an example. It's in the past, right? I think overall, Isaac in Malaysia, we always think in terms of sponsorship, donation, people directly giving us money, but we never thought of how we can offer value to other people. So I think UPM was sort of the first few that start. Is that originally their environmental project, they go and find Daikin to sponsor. They also got to do their research, but then Daikin say they don't see a value and then they don't know, they sponsor what they can get. But then the VPPD at that time had a conversation with Daikin and asked them, so what are the things that you're currently trying to solve? Then for Daikin, they actually wanted to build an employee culture that their employees are more environmentally aware, environmental awareness on that. So from there, they actually go and align back with the IGV team. Then they come up with the deliverables. Is that, okay, we have our volunteers to actually teach Daikin in terms of how to create plastic eco bricks. So from here, you can actually build the awareness for your employees itself. So here's how you play the strategic role, that you bring in the external context of what your partner needs to your project, to your IGV and EWA site, and let them improve their existing project and events. At the same time, they improve already, then you can sell it to your partners also. So that's why a lot of times we need to do a lot of synergy and also updating so that we can bring in the external context. Then they can support us. It's not only us supporting them. Yeah, and the innovation, I think I just now also explained more. Yeah, this is part of the innovation, and the solution oriented is just now what I mentioned on the negotiation also, is that you need to expand your mind. It's not only black and white, yes and no, but you need to see what are the potential other opportunities, and also the sustainability of your project. So you as the BD head, you need to get the picture together with your IGV and EWA that their project is continuing their strengths also. It's not simply going towards any random direction. Meaning, if let's say the strength of your project is that you have B40 students, okay, a lot of them, then suddenly they say, I want to change school. Then you need to give them some reality step, like tell them, hey, this is not playing your strength. And if you do this, it harms both your project and harms the partnership relations, both sides also. Yeah, mainly on that, and the sustainability also, yeah, bringing in the resources. Yeah. So I think here I spend a lot of time in terms of explaining more and also facilitating you guys to see the picture in terms of what you need to do and you can do as a BD. And if you want to go into the more official textbook answer, I mean, textbook answer is also a right answer, a good answer. Yeah. Then mainly you can go to your LCB application booklet in terms of what are the main roles that you need to do. I also amended this terms answer to focus more on the product development things also. Here I written. And again, you have your team management side, the development side. Yeah, you are a team leader also. Yeah. And then also the skills needed here, the strong product knowledge, the customer centricity. Here are the things that you can read by yourself one by one also. I wouldn't explain too much. Okay. So the last part I would say is more on structure. Yeah. So again, going back towards the goal of BD, right, is that our role is to support the products to develop better, not only getting the money, but also bringing in the external context, all those things. Okay. So I think here to elaborate more is that we also notice there is certain issues that we want to tackle on. So that's why the suggested structure is BD structure. But again, it goes back towards your LCPE direction. Yeah. And the decision, but national direction would be more on BD structure. So I'll explain more on EWA is that previously we never run EWA. It's because COVID came, then we innovate, then we have EWA. And then last year, we have EWA events, but we don't have EWA department. But this year, we have EWA department. So actually, EWA department is not even 1 year old. If you really think about it, it's not even 1 year old. And they are also expanding already. But then one thing we notice is for most of the LCs, when EWA is expanding, right? Like let's just go back towards the picture earlier, is that let's say doing this, okay? So you have multiple people doing multiple roles, like OGV in charge of finding the youth, IGV finding the project, and then PD finding the FP. But then for EWA, right, they're doing everything. Yeah, like doing basically everything. So it's actually very high pressure and workload on them also. And then going back towards, I think the first question in terms of why IGV, why not OCFP and IGV, right? If your IGV is small, definitely can. But then if your IGV is expanding, you need to specialize it out to actually let different people play their strengths on that. Yeah. So that's why we also go towards the BD structure, is to actually tackle these issues to let the sales team to specialize in this. Yeah. So the few problem statements is like, for example, LC lacking of alignment and communication among sales teams to engage with external stakeholders. And then also the representation of Isaac brand is also not very clear. Yeah. And then the resources is also very diluted. But I think some EWA teams, they mentioned very burnt out, you manage a lot of things. Yeah. So now in terms of then example, is let's say you want to deliver HubSpot R&D, then you are delivering to 2 teams instead of 1 team. Yeah. Capacity building effort. And also the communication layer. So mainly we also, like, for example, need 2 heads to align on pricing, all those things. So to make things more simple, then this is the current synergy map that I described just now. So mainly quite a lot of alignments to go to. Then we just centralize it together. Then BD align with EWA and IGV. So for EWA and IGV, they can really focus on the youth development, youth leadership essence. Meanwhile, BD here, we play the role to support in terms of bringing in the external context and bringing in the financial resources. Yeah, mainly we are the bridge towards them and the outside world on that. Okay, so I think that's all from my side. Any further questions? You can straight away open mic. Okay, is it?
I want to ask,
Yeah.
I want to ask, does EB team is not at all LCs, is it? Or EB team is only for in Isaac in Malaysia? Because UPM don't have, UPM only have PD. Yeah, so sorry, I think it's a very silly question because I'm very new. So
It's okay. There's no such thing as silly question, but I think you mean the structure of BD, it doesn't exist in UPM, is it? Because I didn't get
yeah, I never heard this BD before. That's why at the very first you ask question, all those I'm not sure. So it's my very first time, listening to EB. So I'm kind of curious, because UPM I only heard of PD, not BD.
Okay. You are on the right track on this. Yeah. So part of the reason why I mentioned this structure thing, right, is because BD doesn't exist in any LC yet. I mean, maybe for some, like for example, Penang and I think Penang have this structure. Yeah, but this is a new structure that we are suggesting towards all the LCs for the next term. For existing term, I am managing the PDIGV commission now. Yeah, we don't have any BD commission yet.
Eugene, just want to know, right? Even if let's say that particular LC is not doing EWA projects, right? Will the BD IGV still
thank
change?
you.
Okay, I think Hui Ting have a lag, but Jolene can continue.
Okay, so even if let's say the LC doesn't run EWA, right? Will the BD still be called as BD?
Naming wise, yes, yeah. I mean you can name it differently on LC level, but mainly national when we are giving the resources, like I manage commission every week R&D, then it will go as BD like that. So if let's say your LC isn't running EWA, then actually your LC's PDIGV is just changing a name to BD like that. But I think one thing I would challenge you is that previously we always talk about PDIGV is supporting IGV only, but maybe your BD can expand towards supporting LC as a whole, even though you didn't run EWA. This is something that I will challenge you to think more about.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any more questions? No question? Okay, then I think I'll just summarize the whole thing. Yeah. So I think to summarize, okay, I see a chat. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah. So I think to summarize, right, actually as a BD, we support our organization's product to be better by bringing in the resources. Yeah. But again, it's going back to supporting the organization, and then we got the organization direction and product direction by bringing in the external context and ensuring the continuity of its strength also. And again, we adapt according to the needs of our organization and product to ensure that we can play our strategic role and support its development and sustainability. So like what I mentioned just now, right? The name changes, but then the essence sort of doesn't change. I mean, if let's say your LC is running EWA, then it's supporting one more product like that. But then again, our role is more on the supporting role to ensure that the product itself can grow, can be better itself. But it's not only product, it's overall LC direction as a whole. I don't know if you get the picture I'm trying to say here. Yeah. So I think mainly to after summarizing all this, I think one question. Oh, okay. Let's go back to the question. Not much to ask at the moment. No, NCR would be back towards IGV commission. So would be managed by Yijie. Okay. So because now NCR is, okay, I'll go, okay, let's go back before I go to a summarizing Q&A. Okay, yeah. So because NCR is now growing, and then most of the LCs already have existing NCR partners. And then now NCR is also having more youth involving. So in order for NCR to really develop as an IGV product itself, then NCR commission will be managed by IGV. Because previously not all LCs have OP, but then now all LCs have OP already. So that's why.
Okay, thanks, Eugene. It seems goes to like OP manager, right? If let's say like the NCR having team hiring director OP, it will still under IGV, right?
Yes, we will suggest it under IGV.
Okay, thank you.
And the BD only focus on finding FT like that.
Okay, understand.
So I think before we end, 2 minutes to end, then I think a few questions will leave to you guys to think about. Is one thing is how much do I understand about my products? Yeah. So again, like I emphasize a lot in this space is we are supporting the product itself. Okay. Then next thing is also, well, where will my LC and product be going? But LC is first priority. So again, align with your not align, but really get to know your LCP direction. Where is the LC going will influence how your product be also. Then from there, you know how to support the product. And then also the last one is how can I play my strengths to support my LC and product as a BD? Because honestly speaking, there are a lot of aspects for your LC and product to grow and develop also. But what is the thing that can only be done by BD and should be done by you? So this is the thing that you need to think more about also. Yeah, I think that's all. Before we say goodbye, let's take a photo, okay? Yeah, I'll stop sharing. Oh, I'll stop recording also.